Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I'm off early a little. Got my work done today, came home, and been watching some videos. And I watched a lot of videos this weekend. I kind of look for new people to watch sometime to keep it fresh, you know, learn some new stuff, even just to listen to somebody different. You know, the YouTube world gets to be the same old after a while. And I noticed something. If you guys haven't figured this out before, and you can probably figure out I've got too much time on my hands, I like to observe people. I like to observe situations. I like to try to figure them out, get to the core of them, so to speak. I've noticed this ever since, you know, I've been in this lifestyle and watching YouTube videos and going to you know, groups that have to do with a high-carb vegan lifestyle or this health vegan lifestyle in general. And I try to put on filters when I'm watching things to filter out my stuff, because I do have friends, and you know, I can kind of tend to lean toward everything as a conspiracy. It's all planned out. It's not what it seems. And I still believe that stuff sometimes. I'm still not 100% sure that our biggest folks in this movement that are YouTubers and have big social media presences, I'm not 100% sure that some of these feuds and fights are not staged as a marketing gimmick, because people like drama. Even though we're supposedly in a more evolved world where we're studying about health, we're concerned about the health of animals, we're talking about higher consciousness, higher purposes, but everybody's going to get caught up in drama from time to time. And I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say that I immediately turn off a video if it has drama in it. I've even have that kind of rubberneck, you know, need to see what's going on effect too sometimes. I don't participate though. I never make comments on any of these, because that's what they're for. They're dramatic videos to try to suck people in. One of your big types, and like I say before, you know, I've mentioned this to somebody before, because I've had people write me or ask me, are you talking about so-and-so, or they assume that I'm talking about so-and-so. I always look at things like a big picture. I'm not talking about any one person. I can think just right off the top of my head about 4 or 5 dramas that are popping into my head, some current, some not current, since I've been involved in this lifestyle. And another thing that happens that I find kind of cute also is anytime smaller YouTubers see an opening, they love to glom on to big name, one of our big name YouTubers in the high carb vegan movement. And there's a lot of them. There's not any one of them. I've seen people all the time. It's kind of like working your way up the food chain. If a little fish can swim with a big fish for a little while, he'll get a little bit of that food. He'll get a bit of that loving that the big fish is getting. So I love it when I see the videos, and I know exactly. I can usually break the video apart. I know what it's going to be about. I know which direction it's going. When someone with not a huge YouTube channel, keyword title, puts in one of the giants in our movements, whatever one it is, whether it's Raw to 4 Raw Vegan, Starch Solution, whatever. But yeah, I think it's a cute way. It's kind of a gimmicky way. I've avoided that as much as possible. Like I wouldn't necessarily avoid at all costs. If I thought there was something relevant about talking about someone in particular and mentioning their name in a video, I would. Well, I've mentioned Tanny Raw before, and she's big to me, but she's not. Me and her, we ain't got no drama. But neither one of us are drama people, so there's not going to be any drama there. And yeah, I think I just like and respect Miss Tanny. So there's never any ulterior motives in mentioning her in a video. But it's kind of funny, but it's funny to a certain extent. And it's funny for people like me that if you haven't figured out, you know, I've got a lot of time on my hands. I don't do anything in a hurry. I'm never in a rush. I don't have deadlines. I don't have things I have to get done. Because to me, that's not conducive to a healthy lifestyle. And for me, it's all about a healthy lifestyle, not just the food that goes in. So I got lots of time sometimes, and sometimes I'll have a whole afternoon that I just want to get away from the normal social media and I just zone out on videos. and I watch for different purposes. I watch to see, you know, people will mention names. Sometimes I'll watch to see if I can pick up some new names, because fairly recently I was speaking with someone, and we just started comparing people we watch, and they must have rattled off about seven or eight names of people I had never watched. So, you know, this community is even bigger than we know it is, because we tend to have our small circles of people we watch on YouTube, people we network with, but it's really big out there. And it's, I think it's beneficial to expand your experience. You know, listen to more people. Listen to people that are not like you. Listen to people that don't agree with you. Listen to people that you might not even like. I do it. But back to what I was saying is, I have a lot of time. For a lot of people are eating up a significant amount of their online time, or their time that they could be learning something about this lifestyle or doing something beneficial to help them with this lifestyle. Yet they're involved with the back and forth drama. And it's okay, like, okay, if you simply watch a video, no harm, no foul. But what's the worst is when the factions get involved back and forth. You know, whether it's comments on a video or whether it is a thread on social media. You know, you'll see people, they'll go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for days. And sometimes I just like to scroll down just a little bit. This isn't a study or anything I'm doing. And see names on there and see how many times they can be brought back. Like somebody says something that they don't like, bam, they come back immediately. Somebody says something to refute that, bam, they come back immediately. Somebody comes in and praises them, bam, they come back immediately. And I'm like, wow, you really are invested in this other person's video or this other person's thread on social media. But in the end, I mean, I'm not going to rail against it. I don't have these big stances. I'm just not that type of person that's going to be like, we should not do this and don't watch this and boycott this. Do what you want to do. But I would just advise you to try to do something that I don't always do. Use your online time wisely. Listen to positive messages. Listen to messages that teach you something. Listen to messages that uplift you and entertain you. And entertainment may mean sometimes listening to, you know, some of this drama stuff. I mean, we all watch drama. I'm not going to play like, you know, I'm some sort of different being that doesn't watch. Yeah, I watch drama. Otherwise, I wouldn't watch TV. But it can really distract from what we really can be doing with these YouTube channels, these groups, these forums, what have you, that are on health, or that are on veganism, like pure veganism for the animals and helping the earth. There's a lot of potential good we have to share and we have to do in our community, but we piss away a lot of it just by these little petty arguments. I mean, you know, the vegan community is pretty small, and I've said this many times. And we're so caught up in, if this person doesn't agree with me 100%, they're useless. I don't have any use for them. I don't want to listen to them. They're in the enemy camp. This is just a very, very sad way of doing things, and it's an inefficient way of doing things. And we're not getting a message spread to people that could use this message, because you know, so much percentage of the time is spent on this little infighting. It's spent on gimmicking in YouTube also. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, I do a lot of stuff. That's why I try to have to kind of pull against myself on the YouTube stuff, because even though I've got a small channel now, when I'm talking about all these different people, the fish in the ocean, big fish in small ponds, I'm not even a real fish yet. I'm just a guppy. I'm in a fish bowl over here, so I'm not part of the big ocean out there. But we just have the potential to change a lot of people's life, to educate a lot of people, to help a lot of people, and I just think we do a disservice to this vegan message, to a health message, whatever reason you want to do it, by, you know, arguing all the time and bickering over small points on things. We're all vegan. Okay, now granted, I guess I don't have a problem with any vegans. I guess, you know, as far as health-wise, I wouldn't be too interested in the junk food vegans. But other than that, I don't really care, you know. And I still love them anyway, and I still really love them because, and sometimes I do love them a little bit more just because a lot of the junk food vegans are doing it for the animals. They do look at veganism for that purpose. So I do respect that angle, but as far as for me, you know, because I love the animals anyway, I like them, but I want to learn more and more and more about what I'm putting in my body. So you know, I don't have time for the gimmicky stuff. Although, you know, I'm not saying I'm not above a gimmick. Oh, I know what I was getting at. I told you guys, I get rambling sometime and I forget where I'm going with that. You know, I know a good bit. I'm kind of like a high amateur. I'm not great at all this marketing and stuff, but I do know a lot of the things that you're supposed to do as far as naming your videos or titles of blogs, how you keyword, the density of the keyword in there, how you use the keyword, you know, the keywords under the videos or the keywords within blog posts, how you get that message out there, how you share it on social media and what have you. I'm just not working with a very a very polished brand, a very marketable brand. Actually, I enjoy that part. I'd almost enjoy just doing my videos. It'd be great to work for somebody on the social media marketing scene, somebody that I believed in and somebody that you know, was really cool. I could help them do that stuff, but I'm not promoting myself. But we all have to promote ourselves a little bit, otherwise we wouldn't be doing YouTube or what have it. But let's try to keep it as real as possible. I mean, let's try to remember why we're doing this stuff and what the greater good can be. You know, we can affect a lot of people's health, or we can basically just have a continuing soap opera going on in this world. But what you watch is your choice. I will never rail against things. I'm a big fan of freedom, and I'm a big fan of people making their choices. If you find something beneficial, watch it. If you don't find something beneficial, don't watch it. But in the end, it's your choice where you spend your time. I would just say I'm going to try to spend my time as wisely as possible. Anyhow, just a little afternoon talk. Hope you guys are having a good week. And I love you. Peace.